Good morning, everybody. We have a mixed to higher trade in the grain markets here early on Tuesday morning. It is 6:30 a.m. Central Time. March corn futures up 3 3/4 at 567.5. March soybeans are up 14 3/4 at 1402.5. March Chicago wheat down 3 1/4 at 652.5. March Kansas City wheat down 3/4 of a cent at 638 3/4. March spring wheat is down 3/4 of a cent at 634.5. Couple of housekeeping notes here this morning, guys. Yesterday, I did a podcast and a video regarding cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in particular with a friend of mine who I would consider to be an expert in the field, certainly. So, if you have not listened to this episode or watched this episode called "The Case for Crypto," I found it to be very interesting. If you're a novice and you don't know anything about this, but you'd perhaps like to know a little bit more about it, this might be a good place to start. I tried to kind of play devil's advocate in the conversation, and I tried to poke some holes in the argument, but there were some good points made. I thought it was a very interesting conversation, even if you're somebody who thinks that this whole Bitcoin thing makes absolutely no sense, and you don't believe in the idea. It may be worth your time to take a listen there, certainly. So that is available on YouTube and all of the podcast apps, of course, as always. And remember, if you guys need some more information from me, visit my website. It is www.standardgrain.com. Go to that website, click on Grain Marketing Plan here in the upper right-hand corner. For $49 a month, I will send you my morning email, which goes out every business day at 6:30 a.m. Central Time, along with the text message service. That email includes any overnight headline that you need to be aware of, all of my grain marketing recommendations, which are essentially recommendations for cash sales broken down by crop year, by percentage. You don't need to be a futures or options trader or even have an account to be involved here. You can cancel it at absolutely any time, so there's no obligation. It's billed to your credit card through PayPal. Really nice deal if you're looking for some improvement. We have a USDA report today. This is the monthly crop production and WASDE report. It will be out at 11 o'clock Central Time. Traders generally expect a pretty friendly tone here, and it's just about everything. Everything from U.S. carryouts, we're expecting lighter numbers. World carryouts, we're expecting lighter numbers. South American production, we're expecting lighter numbers. So, going into this report, there's an expectation for some bullishness, for kind of a friendly theme from USDA. The question, as always, what's priced in and what's not. I think that the large speculators out there, funds, are thoroughly convinced that we've got a very, very tight situation. And you can't really argue that. In soybeans in particular, you look at ending stocks, you look at the stocks to use ratio projections. This is going to be the tightest or second tightest U.S. soybean situation in the last 25 years, at least, probably more than that. Now, in corn, we're not quite that tight, according to the balance sheets, at least, even if these projections for today are correct. But in any case, the trade's certainly expecting some friendly stuff from the government here later today. To get into some of the other headlines this morning, Brazilian soybean harvest is moving slowly. Private group Ag Rural estimated that only 4% of the country's bean crop was harvested as of February 4th versus 16% last year. So this is the slowest harvest pace, according to that group, in 10 years. Planting delays, recent rains have contributed to that slow pace. Russia officially approved a formula-based wheat export tax. The formula-based tax will go into effect on June 2nd, I believe, and it will be what we thought it was, 70% of the difference between the wheat price and $200 per ton. Current export prices are about $285, indicating that you'd have a tax right around that $60 mark, which is what the flat tax is going to be until June 2nd anyways. One of two, you would need lower prices essentially to reduce or even eliminate this formula-based tax. Russian export prices were below $200 per ton back in August of 2020. So if we were to get back to that type of level, it would essentially render the tax ineffective. Fund traders hold a massive net long in the corn market ahead of today's report. Total net fund length estimated at 359,000 contracts at yesterday's close. Funds were only long more corn in 2010, 2011. We never even saw this type of length in 2012. So you've got extreme fund length in the corn market and really very heavy fund length across the grain complex. Corn shipments are improving. USDA reported, I think, 1.58 million metric tons of corn shipped last week, nearly double that of a year ago. Shipments for the marketing year, I think, are up like 85% versus last year. Corn shipments should start to pick up here as soybean shipments decline. You know, the majority of the global soybean business is going to start to go to Brazil, and that's where they're going to be shipping beans. And the U.S. soybean shipments are really going to slow down. But corn shipments should really improve. And if you look at some of these charts, like, you know, the seasonal stuff, I mean, we could really peak, you know, sometime in April or May, technically, and we may be on our way to that peak. We've got a lot of corn to ship, and it looks like we're really kind of just getting started here, certainly. Moving on here this morning. Sorry, I'm playing around with some new software here. The cattle market yesterday was just a little bit higher. Nothing really fantastic. This feeder cattle seems to have been kind of pushed around by the corn market to some extent as of late. So, you know, if you get a big move in one direction on the report today, you may see the opposite type move in feeder cattle. Not much in terms of cash trade last week. I think we saw some 113s, 114s in that neighborhood. The box beef market was mixed yesterday. In the outside markets ahead of the cash open, we have the S&P is, let's see, where are we here? S&P is down 3. The Dow is down about 40 points. A little bit of weakness in the stock market. Precious metals are higher by just a little bit. The U.S. dollar is a little bit lower this morning. Crude oil is up just a few cents, up 3 cents, 58 bucks even in the March WTI contract. The bonds are mixed. Remember, guys, report at 11 today. If you need some more information from me, check out that website, check out that newsletter service. Everybody have a great day today. We'll talk to you same time tomorrow.